Something to Tell the Grand Cows, written by Eileen Spinelli and illustrated by Bill Slavin. There were indeed several cows on one of Admiral Byrd's expeditions. Farmer Fergus could tell his grandchildren about the time he wrestled an alligator at the Virginia State Fair. Georgetta the pig could tell her grandpigs about the time she hot air ballooned across Mexico. But what could Emadine the cow tell her grandcows? About the time she swatted 17 horseflies, right. Or the time she chased a crow from the corn. Whoop-de-doo. So when Emadine learned that Admiral Richard E. Byrd was looking for a few good cows to take to the South Pole, she volunteered. It was October 1933 when Emadine sailed off in a ship with two other cows, one red, one brown, 153 dogs, 56 explorers, and an assortment of boxes, barrels, snowshoes, skis, jelly coffee, ukuleles, books, toothbrushes, and frying pans. The crew waved their hats and grinned goodbye. The dogs yapped, the other cows dozed on beds of straw. The ocean splashed merrily, and Emadine got seasick. She moaned, she groaned. She wished she were back at the farm, but the ship was not about to turn back for one cow. Week after week, the old steamer pitched and tossed on the waves. Then one day the sun glared silver bright on an iceberg. A crewman shouted, "Ice ho!" They had reached the South Pole. Oh, wouldn't the grand cows be amazed? Emadine climbed into her warmest woolen socks. She wrapped the scarf round her neck. She put on the udder muff that Georgetta the pig had knitted for her. Then she made her way to the deck. Here the air was white with swirling snow. Emadine watched as the crew drove anchors into the ice and ran planks down from the ship. This was the coldest place on earth. Emadine's breath turned to ice crystals. Her teeth chattered like spoons. She wished she were home swatting horseflies. The cowherd came. Carefully he guided Emadine down the plank and onto the crusted snow. While Emadine waited for the crew to unload the ship, she saw velvety seals basking on ice cakes. She spotted a giant petrel grazing the sky. She sighted whales playing in the bay. Their foggy spouts echoed from the snow cliffs. Oh, wouldn't the grand cows be amazed? Emadine noticed a penguin scooting on its stomach across the ice. It stopped smack in front of Emadine. It stood up. Emadine, curious, leaned forward. She sniffed the penguin's shiny coat. Not a good idea. Swat! The penguin slapped Emadine's nose with its flipper. Before Emadine could moo ouch, the penguin had waddled over to check out the dogs. Emadine sniffled. I sure do miss Georgetta the pig, but Georgetta was thousands of miles away. At that moment, the cowherd appeared with the other cows. He led all three, sliding across the ice to a ramshackle shed. "Home, sweet home," said the cowherd. He spread straw for bedding. He checked the stove. He brought out the milk pails. Ah, thought Emadine, milking time, and after that bedtime, my first night's sleep at the South Pole. She waited for the sun to go down. "This is the longest sunset I ever saw," she mused. The sun seemed stuck in the sky. In fact, it never did go down, for it was summer in the South Pole, and that meant sun in the morning, sun in the afternoon, sun all night. When the cowherd explained this, Emadine exclaimed, "Imagine! Sunlight 24 hours a day! Oh, wouldn't the grand cows be amazed!" But the red cow flicked her tail nervously, and the brown cow began bawling. "There, there," said the cowherd, tacking a piece of dark cloth to the window. Then he picked up the ukulele that had been sitting in the corner. Softly he played ukulele lullaby. Emadine and the other cows soon fell fast asleep. Emadine dreamed she was chasing crows from the corn. She woke at 6 a.m. to the sound of the wind, to the tinkling of icicles. One icicle bonked her on the head. If this was summer in the South Pole, what would winter be like? In time, Emadine found out, April 19 to be exact. On that day, the sky flared blue, green, red, and yellow. It was quite beautiful. Emadine had never seen anything like it. Oh, wouldn't the grand cows be amazed! Slowly the sun dropped below the horizon and stayed down. Now it was darkness 24 hours a day. This was more unsettling than light. In the morning the cowherd lit lanterns. He kept them lit until after supper. But even cows can tell lantern light from sunlight. It just wasn't the same. Besides the darkness, winter at the South Pole brought fierce gales, deep, dangerous drifts, hurling clouds of snow. There was no leaving the shed for a breath of fresh air or a bit of ski practice. The red cow grew bored. The brown cow grew moody. So Emadine decided to give dancing lessons. She taught the red cow to tango. She taught the brown cow to polka. She even taught the cowherd to do the hoochie coochie. Oh, wouldn't the grand cows be amazed! Thinking about the grand cows, however, began to sadden Emadine. She was so far away. Perhaps she would never see her grand cows again. Perhaps she would have to stay at the South Pole forever. She needn't have worried. No one stays at the South Pole forever. One day when spring came, the cowherd led Emadine out into the frosty air, across the ruffled snow and onto the ship. Emadine could hardly believe it. She was going home. When the ship finally reached home port, there were crowds cheering. There were flags waving. There were brass band playing. There was a brass band playing. Farmer Fergus met Emadine at the dock. So did the President of the United States. He congratulated Emadine at the dock. So did the President of the United States. He presented her with a shiny gold medal. He kissed her on both cheeks. Oh, wouldn't the grand cows be amazed! About the President, about the iceberg and the whales and the sunlight and the darkness and the wind and the dancing and the whole South Pole adventure. And of course they were. The end.